Ulan did not really understand why this was happening. He was no one, a simple mechanic on the station Ironclad Lady. Why they had decided to kidnap his wife baffled him. The ransom notice had arrived the very next day, something he could easily pay, even with his measly salary. It just didn't make sense. He arrived at the designated location, and Astrid was there as promised. Ulan quickly removed her bonds, and they embraced one another, then hurried from the room. From behind a hidden camera, a man in a lab coat stated, "The virus transferred successfully." That was another entry in our flash fiction series, Distress Signals. Today's prompts were oppress, dedication, and deliver a ransom. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of flash fiction. If you did, stay tuned next week for more. And now, on with the episode. Hello, DV here, back with another episode of Mothership. I am your humble GM and player in this solo Mothership play, featuring Devin Valentine and his lackluster lackey companion, Cade Zachary. Last episode, we went on a mission for Nicole. We had to explore a automated jump liner to get some repair parts to fix a transmission station, the night out station, and we were able to do so, and we were successfully able to get a small amount of loot, not much, around 500 credits worth of loot, not much loot overall for that. Did we get anything else? I think everything else was used by the station that we were helping, so we couldn't steal all their stuff, unfortunately, including some sort of alien staff or stave that they weren't sure what it did, but basically they didn't want to give it to us either, so who knows. So that's interesting. We did get a trank gun out of it, and we found a synthetic hand that seems to still be active that we might be able to use to fix our fingers if we can get a ride to the Hope system, which we would have to use through the Love system in order to do so. Now, the tickets are very expensive unless we can find a way to circumvent that and still be in a cryo sleep station, a stasis chamber. Otherwise, we are likely to suffer madness. So we either need to get some goods to sell or some salvage to sell or something, or find a way to hitch a ride that's not going to cost us an arm and a leg to find a medical facility, both for myself and for Vasco, who wants to get some med support for his HAB. Also, last episode, the bounty hunter made considerable progress to finding us, 9 out of 10, and we found the book, Origin on Earth. And so we proceed to find a scanner in the Siesta 3 station, and we scan this book into a digital format, and then we upload that format up to our ship AI, Bookworm, and she proceeds to regale us with tales about the origins of Earth and human life, and it's not quite accurate. So remember, this is set in an alternate future, and so the what they remember of life on Earth is not exactly what it is in reality, but we don't know that, and Bookworm, the AI, does not know that, but she is happy that we were able to find that book, and I will find some way for her to reward us for that, but that will come at a later time. Okay, so whenever we come across that, I'll know it, and we'll get a reward somehow to Devin for providing this this AI, this book of the origins of Earth. I mean, the origins on Earth. Okay, so Not much time has passed since we last left Devon. We are back on Siesta 3, and Devon receives a phone call from an old friend. Remember the old friend that we discussed? If you watched the Thousand Empty Light, you'll know that we got this trench shovel from a friend of ours that we played a poker game with, and they appear on the video screen, and they're kind of middle aged, late 50s probably, and they're kind of scruffy looking, and they're wearing a mismatched set of battle armor that's like it's got all these patches on it and weird pieces of welded on things to act as additional armor, and it's a very mismatched piece of equipment. And his name is, I've got two names picked out, and it is courtesy of one of my longtime subscribers from another channel, my Darth Vegan channel, Molded Salad. He provided me with these names and this character, and so we are going to roll. Which name is it? Above 50, it's name A. Below 50, it's name B. And I'll provide that name when we get it. So below 50 is name B. Okay. So that is, his name is Mabuz. 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 So Mabuz contacts us on our vid phone, and he's like, "Long time no see, Devon." That's not what he sounds like. "Long time no see, Devon." And Devon's like, "Mabuz, wow. You were the last person I expected to hear from. How have things been for you?" "Well, not great, to be honest. I've been a little down on my luck. I've been doing some salvaging here in the Joy system, and someone said that and I got word that you too were in the Joy system, and I thought maybe we could meet up, have a little drink, maybe do a job together, share the spoils, you know. You know how it is. I'm always a little bit low on credits. Maybe you are too, and perhaps we could, have a little job together to catch up on old times and also make a little money on the side." Yeah, let's do that. Indeed. So where are you working currently? "Well, I'm down on the planet Aria. It's a desert planet. You ever heard of it?" "Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. I'm not so sure I want to do something on Aria." "Oh, you mean all that trouble you've been hearing on the news?" Don't pay any attention to that. That's all scuttlebutt. And for one thing, it's on the other side of the planet from where I'm doing my job. It's complete Cerberus is on the other side of the world. Don't have to worry about it. We're just going down to a station. It is completely being decommissioned, authorized. I have a salvaging license from Hasmos to disassemble it, and I paid 10,000 credits for this license, and I get whatever profit from these parts, but it's too big of a job for me by myself, and I'm looking for help. I thought maybe you could help out. We could split the profits. You know how I am. I like to gamble a little bit. So it was my last 10,000 credits, but now I've got all of this material to move. I don't really have a ship. I bought a ticket here from a passage liner, and maybe not the best decisions I've made, but here I am on Aria, stuck here for now, and I would like to meet up with you and maybe get a little help. Devin talks it over with Cade, and Cade, is Cade willing to go with me? Cade is not my, he's not beholden to me in any way, so we'll give him a 50-50 chance. Over 50, Cade goes with us. All right, 59. Cade agrees to go with us. Fantastic. Cade is getting more and more to like us, I think. And we're getting to like Cade more and more. So I think from now on, when we roll to see if Cade is likely to go with us, unless something happens to change things, he is going to get a likely roll, which would be over a 25, and he'll go with us. So I think that's good. So we load up on the Mad Refuse, our lusty, trusty dropship. It does have some bullet holes in it, and so we haven't had a chance to patch them up from the last little journey there, but otherwise it is fully serviceable. And we do know that Siesta 3 folks had someone here sabotaged it. We don't know who yet, and we haven't really had a time to look into it as well. But we're just going to go ahead and take the ship, and we're going to top off our fuel here on Siesta 3, and we're going to fly on down to Aria. All right, so during our journey, we're going to see, do we encounter anything in our orbital travel? We rolled a 7, which is a 2. Stress. Oh, rats. So what happens to cause us stress? There's an incoming torpedo. The crew grow edgy. Red star visible. Okay. Unexpected 10,000 credit bill from last employer. Or labor hour. Beloved rim space holiday. -1 stress. Let's roll again and see what we get. We rolled a 2. The crew grow edgy. Contractors loyalty save. Ooh. So Cade is not he's not a contractor, but let's see. He's growing a little edgy. So let's go ahead and just give him a stress. Here. Add condition. Let's give him a stress. There we go. So he is up to 5. He's feeling a little bit edgy, so he gains a little bit of stress during our trip to Aria. So we arrive at Aria. Once again, it is a desert planet. There are dust clouds visible from space whirling through the atmosphere. And luckily for us, we have our vac suits. We're just going to remain in our vac suits. We had to fly in them anyway because we've got bullet holes in here in the ship, so it's no longer it is no longer airtight. So let's see, what does he have? He has an SMG with 2 reloads. Okay, that's fine. What does Devin have for a weapon? He's got his laser cutter and his revolver and a trank gun, so he's fully loaded and everything. So we are going to fly to the location indicated by us by my friend Mavis. So we fly down, and what does this location look like? All right, so first, how big is this settlement, this little station here? How big is it? We're rolling the expanse table here. 44, which is dozens of people lived here. Okay, it is not inhabited now, except for Mavis, of course. What do we see on the first look? Number 6 table. The first look, we see an 85. Sterile or pristine habitat. So it's not going to be pristine because of all the dust flying around, but we notice that on first look, it looks like the place was well taken care of, but it's pretty much empty now. The buildings all are all empty. There's nobody living here, and it's all going to be repurposed and salvaged. Why, we don't know. But let's roll and see what kind of settlement it was. Number 4, 49. It was a psychological settlement. What? A psychological research settlement. Interesting. Okay, and what is the name of this place? The name of it is 59. Narayana. Narayana. There we go. Okay. And that's interesting. What kind of trouble caused this place to be shut down? 398. Action theme. Okay. 31. Dissect. Oh no! No! Hellkites. Hellkites also were here. No. Dang it! I didn't want to have to fight Hellkites. Okay. So we land. We don't know about the Hellkites, but there are going to be Hellkites here. So what I'm going to do is we are going to roll a d6 every time we move into a new area, just like we did with the derelict. 1 and 2, nothing happens. 3 to 6, 5 and 6, we'll get an opportunity. 3 or 4, we will encounter a Hellkite of some sort. So I'm going to create a little table of our Hellkite friends, and we'll see which ones we run into. Now there's basically, I want to say there's 3 types that we will run into that's outside of what I would consider the hive. Obviously the worst kind that we will run into will be the Hellkite Defender that we ran into on Arya. So I'm going to make it I'll make it very rare. And so we'll say if we roll a D100 and we roll over a 90, that will be the Hellkite Defender. If we roll 0 to 50, that will be the Dustfly, or otherwise known as the Hellkite Swarms. And then 50 to 90, that's a lot. The Hellkite Berserker, is that what it's called? I think so. We haven't run into it yet. Yes, Hellkite Berserker. Oh my god, look at him. And that's why I thought of Dissect. Look at those things. That looks... Limbs fold like switchblades. Combat 70. Holy cow. He doesn't have armor, luckily, but he's still a tough little dude. So, that's the chance. That's what we might run into if we roll a peril, and the peril is greater than 50. So it'd be 51 to 89, basically. 51 to 89 will be a berserker. That's a lot. Maybe I should make it a little bit less. Yeah. Let's say 75 to 91. Yeah, that sounds better. So it'd be 76 to 90. 76 to 89 is a berserker. Dustfly is up to 75. Okay, that's much more like it. Otherwise, we'd be freaking overwhelmed by these things. Okay, so we land successfully on one of the landing pads here at Arya. And what do we notice about this landing pad? Anything of note? 56.6. So 56 purity. Okay, so we got another purity thing. So everything is pristine, like the landing pad looks completely intact. There's some... Are there any fuel depots here on the landing pad? I'm going to say likely. So anything greater than 25. So 49. Yes, there are some fuel containers here. And do they contain fuel? Also likely. Yes, they do. Okay, so the landing pad. Fuel. How much fuel is here? Let's roll a 1d10. 6 fuel. All right, cool. So we go ahead and land, and when we exit the ship in our vac suits, we see Maybuzz come out of the little office there on the landing pad. And Maybuzz, as I had mentioned, Maybuzz is covered in this melange of different armor pieces that are all kind of stitched together and scavenged. And he's wearing this battle armor. He has a submachine gun as well strapped on his back. And he's carrying a variety of tools with him as well, all hanging from his belt. And he comes up, and the first thing he notices is the trench shovel strapped to the side of my pack. He eyes that trench shovel, and he kind of narrows his eyes a little bit, and he says, "Still carrying the shovel, I see." And Devin kind of gives a little chuckle and says, "Yeah, it actually saved my life on my first job. I used it to like a golf club and batted away this crazy eel creature that was attacking me. So yeah, it's I find it is quite dear to me now due to that little occurrence." And Mavis kind of shakes his head like he understands. Like, yeah, I get it. I get it. Same for me. I never should have put it up for a pot, but you know how I am. I can't I can't say no to a good gamble. Can't say no to a good gamble. And so they have a little chit chat, kind of catch up a little bit. They go back inside the office and they're kind of catching up a little bit. And Mabuz is acting a little twitchy, a little twitchy. And so we're sitting here speaking with Mabuz, and he's looking a little twitchy, he's acting strange. And maybe it's just because we haven't seen each other in so many years. Maybe it's because he's nervous about the job. Who knows? But he is acting a little bit strange. And we mentioned like, oh, maybe we should go ahead and get to work, starting the salvage. And he's like, oh, there's one other thing I wanted to tell you. And we hear, or do we hear a noise? 57. Yes. We hear from one of the back rooms a scuffle of like someone shifting position. And so we're like, who's that? And Mabuz is like, who's what? And we're like, Mabuz, there's someone back in that room. And just as we say that, out steps Eleanor Bullock, the bounty hunter that hunted us to Hasmos. And she's like,
so we meet again, Devin and Cade.
And Mabuz immediately says, I'm sorry, Devin. I'm sorry. I needed the credits. I'm so sorry. 50,000 credits, though. You understand? 50,000 credits. How could I say no to 50,000 credits? And Devin is devastated. He takes one stress from just how terrible. Well, let's see. Let's roll a sanity save and see if he's able to do a save. Nope, he failed. So he takes a stress from the betrayal of his friend. And so he has his laser weapon strung over his arm, and he raises it up. He's like, don't take another step. We're not leaving with you, Eleanor. We are going to leave here. We don't have to fight. You can just leave alive. Otherwise, we will blast you just like we did last time. And let's see, is she likely to give up that easy? I'm going to say not a chance. So we have to get over a 90. If we get over a 90, she will agree to let us go. Yeah, no way. No way. She's like,
ha! You think you can best me and Mabuz in a fight? No way. He's a trained Marine.
And Mabuz looks at her like, I didn't know I was going to be fighting. I thought I just had to turn him over to you. And she's like,
shut up, you fool. Of course you had to help.
And so Devin is like, Mabuz, you don't have to do this. We'll help you get some credits. Just help us escape from Eleanor, and we'll get you those. We'll help you get some credits. and I'm going to say it's unlikely. So if he gets over a 75, he will consider doing that, but no, he gets an 8. He just shakes his head sadly. He's like, sorry, Devin. I need that 50,000 credits. I need that 50,000 credits. And so this fight is on. So Eleno has an instinct of 30. And let me grab Mabuz's stats. All right, so we've got 8 Mabuz here. His combat stats are quite a bit better than Eleno's. He's a Marine after all. His combat is a 60, which is really good. His instinct is 39, and his health is a 20. And he only gets 1 wound. Eleno, her combat is only a 30. Her instinct is 30, and her health is 1 wound, 15 health on there. She's fighting with a trunk gun, and he is fighting with an SMG. Now, we know that if they take us alive, then he gets 50,000 credits if each. And if they kill us, we only get 10,000 credits. And so I feel like Mabuz also probably has a trank gun in preparation for this. And so depending on how this battle goes, he'll start out using the trank gun, which is a 1d5. And if it starts to go poorly, then he'll be forced to switch over to his SMG. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll initiative. Who gets to go first? So Devin gets a 3 on his speed, which is fantastic. And Mabuz gets a 24, which he also passes his instinct, but Devin got a better roll. So Devin and Cade will go first, and then it will be Mabuz and then Eleno. So we got Devin, then Cade, then Mabuz, and then Eleno. That's gonna be the order there. All right. So Devin gets to go first, and before Mabuz or Eleno can make a move to begin the combat, Devin doesn't waste any time. He is sick of being hunted. He raises his laser cutter and fires a blast towards Eleno's direction. And his combat is not very good at 45, and he gets an 84. He shoots the laser cutter, and it lasers across the room with a miss. He misses Eleno just barely. She dodges out of the way, and it slices through the wall behind her, and now there's basically a big hole in the wall into the next room. And so he missed his first shot, and now it takes 1 round for the laser cutter to charge up. And so he draws his revolver to be ready to shoot it next round. And then Cade is going to take cover in the doorway there. He is standing next to the doorway. He's going to take cover, and he's going to gain an extra 2 AP from his cover. And he also gets 3 AP in his suit. So, alright, so he's wearing his vac suit with an armor of 3. And he is going to go ahead and attack. He's also going to attack Eleno. He's got his SMG, and he is going to attack. Combat. He doesn't get anything for his boost. He's really crappy with his combat roll. And so he rolled a 38. He also gained a stress. Oh, I forgot to increase Devin's stress because he missed his first shot. So Devin lets loose a burst from his submachine gun, and he is unable to get a hit. So he is now down to 3 shots. Oh, I can just attack from here. That's great. Okay. So now, unfortunately, it is Mabuz's turn. Mabuz is going to shoot his tranquilizer. He's going to shoot it at Devin because Cade is behind cover. with an additional 2 AP. And I'm going to say custom armor. I'm just going to say cover. And it gives him damage reduction of 2. So now it is Mabuz's turn. Mabuz is going to attack with his trank gun. He's going to try to attack Devin. He's got to get better than a 60, and he succeeds with a 46. He shoots Devin with his trank gun, and it does a 1d5 damage. Let's see what he gets. A 3, which is below or equal to his AP. And we'll say that Devin's armor absorbs that trank dart. And he... How many shots does a trank gun have in it? Usually 6. Okay, so he shot his first shot of his trank gun, and he hit, but Devin's armor deflected all of that blow. Okay, so now Eleanor is also going to shoot. She is going to fire her, she's going to roll her attack first. 97, she misses big time. And so she does not contact with Devin. Devin leaps to the side and is able to, even in his bulky suit, he's able to get away from the shot and avoids taking any additional damage. Devin stands up from his prone position. Actually, since he dove to the side, there is a small desk there beside him. Or let's see, what does the oracle say? Is there a desk or some other piece of furniture that Devin could hide behind for cover? 50% chance. That is a no. So Devin is on the ground, laying prone. He's going to fire his revolver and shoot at Eleanor. So he's going to shoot, and it's a critical miss. Oh no, he shoots and his gun jams, his revolver jams, and he won't be able to use it next round without taking an action to clear the jam. And he misses too. And he gains the stress. Holy cow, that's terrible. Alright, so now it is Cade's turn. Cade is going to take a shot with his SMG. So he is going to attack with his SMG using combat. And he shoots, and it is a success. He is able to shoot Eleanor with his SMG. It does 2d10 damage, which will be a total of 10 damage to Eleanor. 10 damage, that's fantastic. That does a lot of the damage. So she was not wearing armor, which is very foolish of her. So she no longer has 15 health. She is down to 5 health. So she is struck by multiple bullets, and she crumples to the ground a little, and she then, well, it's Mabuz's turn, but on her turn we'll do something with her. So Mabuz sees that we are not messing around, and he is going to try to shoot Devin once again with his trank gun. He gets a success. 1d5 is a 4. It does 1 damage to Devin. And now I've decided to do something a little different with my armor. I don't, just because Mothership's so hard already, I'm not gonna have the armor degrade all the way with a one hit that is over the amount. So we're gonna say that he is down to 19 health. It blocked all but one of the damage, and then it also knocked it down by 1. So every time he takes damage over his armor, it will knock it down by 1 until it's down to a 0. So that's the way we're going to play that. All right, so he did take a little bit of damage, and unfortunately, that little bit of damage is enough to render Devin unconscious, and it will knock him unconscious if he cannot succeed in a body save. So we're going to roll a body save for Devin. It's got to get better than a 32. He did, 15. He's able to overcome the tranquilizer in the dart, and he is able to maintain his consciousness successfully. Eleanor is wounded pretty badly. She is going to retreat to one of the doorways back in that other room, so she now gains cover. So she's got an a damage reduction of 2 from the doorway, and she's going to go ahead and fire at Devin as well. And she also gets a hit, and it does 3 damage, once again reducing his health by 1 and reducing his armor by 1. And he has to do a body save. Come on, Devin, you can do it. Come on, buddy. 57. Unfortunately, Devin is unable to resist the tranquilizer a second time, and he is going to fall unconscious for 1d10 hours. 1 hour. Devin's out of it. So Devin, he's already on the ground. He's just slumps onto the ground. He's completely unconscious now. It's up to Cade to overcome both Mabas and Eleanor. And so Cade is going to go ahead and attack. He's attacking Eleanor once again. He wants to get her out of the fight if he can, even though she's behind the doorway with some cover. He's going to make a roll. Another success, 1 shot used, 2d10 damage. He gets 9 damage. That is enough to knock her down to nothing. She is now lying on the floor bleeding to death. She is riddled with bullets and is now dying unless she gets some help. So let's see what she gets actually on the wound table. So on the wound table, she's going to roll a 1d10. It is a gunshot. She gets a 3. It's a minor injury, a fractured extremity. So the bullets penetrated her arm and broke her arm. So if for some reason she is able to be revived, then she will fight with disadvantage, basically. But she is completely unconscious at the moment due to her health. That is going to be it for this episode. We will continue this fight on the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure and hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.